Hello, everyone. So, today let us talk about how to manage a simple task in org mode. Now, if you follow my channel, then I'm sure you know that I talk a lot about org mode because I love org mode. In fact, a lot of what I do, in fact, majority of the things that I do personally for my own task management, I rely on org mode. I cannot really do things without org mode effectively and efficiently. Now, org mode is great, but at the same time, we all have different ways to use it. If you talk to another org mode user, they will probably tell you that I only use it for very simple task management. Some people use org mode for doing everything. I use org mode for, and also Emacs for doing, if not everything, but a lot of what I do with computers, right? I'm just trying to give you a very bad explanation. For example, I use org mode for, of course, apart from my task management, I use it for creating documents. I use it for planning my short-term, long-term goals, and there are so many things that I do with org mode. On my channel, I have covered a lot. But today, let us focus on simple task management. Now, when it comes to simple task management, of course, you can use org mode. In org mode, there is something called as org capture, and when you're using org capture, all you can do is you can press Control CC. Control CC, and it will bring up this pop-up where you can select what you want to capture. Is it a to-do item? Is it like a to-do item which will be added along with a timestamp, or maybe you want to capture journal? So you can actually use org capture to capture those tasks. But the problem with org capture is that it will create a task for you and it will save it in a separate file or in a file somewhere. And of course, then you can move it elsewhere. Org capture is useful because let us say you're doing something on computer. You have one org window open somewhere, maybe using Emacs client, and you remember something that you need to do, but you might not need to do it straight away. You know that it will be a task for future, so you can actually use org capture to capture that and then plan that particular activity for future, right? Maybe. So what I try to do every week, I try to go through my inbox, or every other day, to be honest, if not every day, and then I try to move things to the actual file where I can then schedule it for work. The other thing that I do is I always keep this DIY notebook with me. So this notebook is nothing but an A4 size paper which I cut, and I then make my own notebook, a pocket size, pocket friendly, wallet friendly notebook, which I keep with me always, even when I'm in my room or in my house. So I just keep it with me so that I can write down something on it. And I use it because if I don't have computer with me, then I'll probably have this notebook with me. If I don't have this notebook with me, if I don't have anything to write, of course you can write anywhere, but you need to write it somewhere that you will refer to. Then I always make a note somewhere on my mobile. And we all have mobile phones usually with us always, right? But the problem is you can always write down on your mobile. You can always use something like this, but you need to eventually move it to the actual file, your org file, where you can actually plan it, where you can schedule it for delivery, and then of course you can work on it. So there is also one more thing that I do, and that is basically in my org file. Usually I have in my org agenda, I have few files that are always in my agenda, and those core files I call them core agenda files, are usually open. Like I have a buffer for it always, and when I have a buffer for it, then I can just open it whenever I want. So I always have like one or two files always in front of me, and then I have like one header or one task there called things in my mind right now, something like that, and I just keep a note in simple bullet format those activities. So those are not really tasks, those are not even checklist. I mean, you can actually have a checklist as well. Checklists are good. I mean, if you want to have a checklist, you need to basically do something like this, like create a bullet point, create a itemed or create a list, and then use something like this, like a checklist list 1, and then you can have a checklist 2. Something like this will also work. But the problem with this is that it is not really too quick. Like I can do Control C, I can then mark it for like I can say that okay, I've done the work on it. So this actually is nice. But the most simple thing that I do, apart from all of these things that I've just mentioned, I just create a simple bullet point. That is it. And this bullet point is, of course, ordered. So at any given point, I have, let us say 10 items that I need to be aware of. So usually the items that I need to make sure that I deliver today, I keep it on the top. And of course, if there is I do these things because I just want to remind myself. But usually in 95% of cases, there is always a task for what I do, because I love having a task for myself with a scheduled date so that I know it will appear in my agenda, right? So I thought that I'll share these things with all of you, because if you're using org mode, you can't really there is no tool that can do everything for you. Org mode is wonderful. Org mode is great. Great thing about org mode is that you can tweak it, you can configure it, you can actually do a lot of your own customized things. And I'm sure if you want to convert a bullet point to a task, there are a lot of ways, right? I'm sure you can refile it somewhere, somehow. Usually I have like a shortcut, I think Control C, Control W, I believe, if I remember, because my fingers remember. But whenever you have task in Jira, because these could be nothing but a task as well. So what you can also do is you can have maybe something like this, like a task, right? Let me just create a task here, like some kind of a task. So this is, let's say, a task, right? Let me just change it. So task. And then you can have maybe subtask, and then you can have, come on, what I'm doing, control, okay. You can then keep on adding subtask, and then you can have subtask, and then you can do another subtask, right? So you can instead of using simple bullet point, you can also do actual task, like a child task, right? But the thing is that it will be a bit cumbersome, or I should say it will basically create too many asterisks in front of your task if you're not using because I'm using a mode where I hide those asterisks, and if this works for you, go ahead, do it. I also do it, but for doing something absolutely simple, which I know I have to remember today, I just create a simple bullet point in most cases, so that I don't forget what I have to work on today and maybe tomorrow. So these are usually those activities which I know that I need to just remind myself. Even if there is a task for it somewhere, I still make a note of it somewhere, so that I'm basically reminding myself a couple of times during the day. And of course, review this every day. I try to keep this list like short, usually less than 10 items. Even if there is a task somewhere, I know that, okay, this is something that I need to worry about. For example, if I have to send an important email, if I have to reach out to my accountant, if I have to send someone a report, right? Like some really, really high priority critical activities, even though there is a task for it, I still remind myself. right? So I thought I've given you some ideas. Don't really expect org mode to do everything for you out of the box. You have to customize it. You have to basically find your own way. All right, that is all. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.